What's happening, everybody? Your boy Big Brando, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about utilizing your social media and your following to make the sale. Now, I talked about this in a few other videos, and I talk about it all the time in the live sessions, and it's about how I started this brand called Gardena Originals and how I would just pull up in parking lots, pop the trunk, and sell shirts out of there. A lot of people took that advice. They went out to their local parking lots, popped the trunks, and sold nothing. So they came at me, hitting me up saying that shit don't work, you lied, blah blah blah. What am I doing wrong? First of all, I got this idea from the food trucks. When the food trucks first came out, they utilized Twitter and not even Instagram yet. They were using Twitter and I think Facebook and telling people, you know, where they're going to be parked at, where they're going to be selling their food. All of this stuff was done on social media. So people following them would say, oh shit, you know, this truck right here is going to be going over here, you know, selling their stuff from this hour to this hour. Let's go over there and try it out. So what I did was I took that same exact formula. I would post pictures of the shirts that I'd be selling. I'd post it up on Instagram and say, hey, I'm gonna be at this parking lot. I would give the directions, the cross streets, the store parking lot that I was in. Say I'm gonna be parked right here with the trunk popped open. Come by, I'll be here for an hour or two or until security kicks me out. When I first started doing this, the very first parking lot pop-up, that's what I called them. The first parking lot pop-up that I started doing, the week prior to that, I was teasing photos of the t-shirts on Instagram. So I would post a picture of what I would be selling at the parking lot pop-up before I told them about it. So strategically, that week before I was gonna post up in a parking lot, I just posted pictures of the shirts. And when people started hitting me up like, hey, where can I get one? How can I get one? Where are you gonna be at? What store you're at? All of these questions were answered at the end of the week when I said, boom, if you wanna buy one of these t-shirts, I'm gonna be at this parking lot. These are the cross streets from this time to this time. In return, this is how it worked out. Was I pulled up into the parking lot. Sometimes there were people already waiting right there, and then they would just kind of pull in, buy the shirt. It's not like a whole shopping experience. It's just pretty much me standing there with a couple totes of t-shirts, and they pull up, they tell me the size, I grab it for them, they give me the money, they go on their way. That's all it is. That's how it started out. So I would do these throughout the week. Maybe I would tease the shirts, post up on a Thursday or Friday in that parking lot for a few hours, sell them. I would use that week and either press up more shirts or just get inventory ready for the following week. But this is how I just kind of gained traction, and I was able to use social media to my advantage to let people know where I was at, and then they would tell their friends like, hey, this guy always posts up in different parking lots around the city. Maybe you should go hit him up. You know, if you want to get one of these, just follow him and he'll let you know where he's going to be at next. This right here eliminated people hitting me up personally on direct message like, hey, can I just come to your house and pick up shirts? Or, hey, can you just ship me some shit? If you wanted the shirt, you had to follow me. And then after following me, you had to pull up to wherever I was posted up at. Now, it grew. Business grew. Everything grew. This is how I was operating the business. I didn't have an online store yet. I had the domain name, but I just didn't have the online platform. But I didn't want to go the online route yet because I like this personal interaction and kind of building up the excitement throughout the week to where I was going to be posted up next. Now, some of this might not make sense to you, but if you wanted to see it firsthand how all this worked, you could go to Gardena Originals on Instagram. It's just Gardena Originals, all one big ass word, Instagram, and scroll all the way to the bottom. I stopped operating this company years ago, so the new owners are kind of still flooding the feed. But if you scrolled all the way down to, you know, the first few posts, you'll see how I incorporated doing this parking lot pop-up. All right, so here's a post right here. Hopefully this is in focus. As if you could see it, it says Sunday, January, what is that, the 4th or something like that? Or yeah, the 4th at 4 p.m. Here's a picture of the sweater that I was releasing, and this is dated back to January 3rd, 2015. If you could see that. I tell them exactly where I'm gonna be at, little description of what I'm gonna have for sale, shit like that. That's all I would post up. And then here's another picture of the actual trunk popped open and the shit I was selling up in there. If you wanted to see how all of this worked, like I said, just go to Gardena Originals, scroll all the way to the bottom. You could kind of see where I was running the brand, what everything looked like when I was currently running it. That's basically all I did, was just post up pictures of the t-shirts that I wanted to sell, built up the hype, and then at the end of the week I would tell people where I was going to be at so they could meet me there, buy the t-shirts, and I would just do this weekly or every other week or whatever it was, building up the hype. Once I felt the hype was was built up enough. I was getting a lot of questions on where you're gonna be next, how much are the shirts, these are cool. I seen the shares, I seen people tagging people in the pictures. Once I seen that, then I would release the location, boom, and I had people coming to me all the time. The cool shit about it and the way I built it up was after months of doing this by myself, other brands took notice, and I have a ton of friends who own brands also. I would have them all meet up at the same time. So now in this one parking lot, you could buy my shirts, another brand's shirts, another brand's hat. There would be cars lined up with their trunks popped open and people just coming in and out, and it's almost like a shopping experience of just all up and coming brands. This right here was major. We ran this for a few months, almost to I would say close to a year. We were doing this weekly, consistently, and always available for people, picking different parking lots. At a time we found a parking lot that really worked for us, but now they turned it into like an in and out and kind of fucked up everything. But back then, before that in and out was built, we had this back part of a parking lot that was on a main street, and people would stop by, they would buy shirts, they knew what brands were going to be there. And then I had brands hitting me up like, hey, can we meet up at the next pop-up spot, you know, this is my brand, blah blah blah. It just grew. The benefit of that, it was just all word of mouth, all social media. We didn't spend a dime on marketing, but we were making sales weekly. Now, would this type of thing work nowadays? It probably can, as long as you executed it right. If you were just thirsty for money and you're just kind of throwing shit out there, you have to build up the hype of the brand or hype of the shirt, or just build up the attention of whatever you're trying to sell. And once you have the audience that's asking, where can I buy this? How much is it? And they start tagging people in these pictures, and you start to see the patterns on the attention around what you're selling. That's when you could be available to people and say, all right, if you want this shirt, this is where I'll be at. Hopefully this helps you guys out. Like I said, if you want to see how I was doing it, a lot of the pictures are still up on Gardena Originals. I have nothing to do with that brand anymore. So if you see a picture of me or you see something on there, just know I have nothing to do with that brand. It's owned by a whole new group of people, and they're kind of keeping it alive now. So good for them. I really wish them nothing but success. I built that brand up to my highest potential. What I thought, I took it to the highest level, and a new group of owners came in and thought they could take it to the next level. So be it. They did it, and they're operating perfectly now. I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you guys got any more questions, leave it in the comments. If you want to just add to the conversation, I go back and forth with everybody in the comments section. So if you have questions about this kind of stuff, or if you wanted to, you know, just some kind of advice on what you're currently doing, leave it in the comments. All right, y'all. Catch you guys on the next one. Yeah.